Hey guys, today's video is going to be about interseeding cover crops in corn, specifically at V4 and V5. In fact, that's what we're doing right now. I don't really have a lot of time to be making videos in the off time, so hey, why not double up and make a video while you're interseeding corn, right? So anyway, getting started with interseeding cover crops is really what this video is going to be about. And when you're getting started, you want to ask yourself why. Why would I interseed cover crops specifically at V4, V5? What obstacles am I going to face? And really, what kind of goals do I want to accomplish? And what am I wanting to do by interseeding cover crops in my corn? And then lastly, like, what kind of drill or what kind of setup do I need to interseed cover crops? So getting started with that, as I've done researched and looked at different, like the Penn State University has done a lot of research on this. And when I first heard about interseeding cover crops in corn at V4 and V5, I just thought that was crazy. There's no way you're not going to take away moisture from the corn, micronutrients from the corn, and not have a negative effect on the corn. But a lot of what I've seen in these research and the test plots and stuff from green cover seeds and from Penn State University shows that there's no real effect on the corn yield interseeding cover crops at V4 and V5. And the cover crop establishes the best at this time. It actually gets dormant underneath the canopy and then sits there, and then it explodes. So that's why you want to do it at V4 and V5. The next thing is broadcasting versus getting it in the ground with some kind of a planter or drill. And from what Green Cover's experienced, they say that the best is to put it in the ground. So we went ahead and bought a drill. It's a 520 disc drill, John Deere disc drill. I'll show you the pictures here. So the reason we went that route was because we found this on Big Iron, and it only cost us $1,800. And where we're getting started and we're learning the ropes, we thought that's going to be the best avenue to take for us is using a disc drill. So we bought that John Deere disc drill. We dropped every third row off of it, and we're interseeding on those 2 rows. It's working great. We figured the bulk of the mix that we're doing right now is cereal rye, and so we did an adjustment for our planting just straight cereal rye, and we figured we're doing actually 66% of a full rate since we dropped off every third row, and that has proven to be pretty accurate. So that's our disc drill is working out really good for us. But now I want to focus on obstacles. So if you're wanting to interseed cover crops in corn, you're going to want to pick a field, the first one you do, one that you don't have a lot of weed pressure, because residual herbicides are going to keep you from being able to get your cover crop established. So make sure you pick a field that you don't have a lot of weed pressure from. So the next obstacle you're going to face is moisture. You might be in a part of the country where you got a ton of moisture, and you might be in a part of the country like we're in western Kansas, we get 16 inches of rain, where moisture is a limiting factor. So those are things you have to be aware of and prepare for. You may, if you're in my situation where I want to do it on dry land, right now I'm doing it on an irrigated field. I can't plant right now on our dry land because it's so bone dry, and it's been 30-mile-an-hour wind for the last 10 days, and then even before that, a few days of basically we've had more 30-mile-an-hour wind days in June than we've had not 30-mile-an-hour days, and even it's hit 70-mile-an-hour 1 or 2 days. So you know, you'll have obstacles in that area as well where it might be too dry. I talked to a guy this morning, Andrew. He's in Illinois, and you know, they face, you know, not being able to plant until June because they're so wet. So anyway, be aware of those obstacles as well, and be thinking those things through. That be able to pivot if you're not able to plant because it's too wet or too dry. Okay. Next is your goals. What are your goals? I was talking to somebody today about this, and they plant cover crops on 60-inch rows, and they found that it hurts their yield on their corn by 20 bushel, but they get so many more days of grazing that it offsets the negative of the hit on the yield on their corn. So, you know, what are your goals? You want more grazing? Are you wanting to build soil health? Are you wanting to build carbon in your soil? Are you wanting to fix nitrogen? All things that you need to ask yourself when preparing to interseed cover crops and corn. And really, as you think through that process, that's going to kind of determine what seeds you're picking and what you're going to have in your mix. And then lastly, what kind of a planter or what kind of a piece of equipment you're going to use to put this stuff down. My goals kind of go back to why I'm doing this. Dang it! Somehow my last videos aren't on my phone. Even checked the deleted section. Couldn't find the last videos on what I was talking about on the tractor. So I'll cover them right now. My aha moment for what got me going with interseeding cover crops and what my goals are came last year. In 2019, we planted a cover crop into corn stalks and a cornfield, corn on corn. So in 2018, both fields had corn on them, and then 2019, we planted cover crops into them, and this is what they looked like. Okay, so this picture was taken in August of 2019. You can see the corn is really drought stressed, and this is taken the same day, and you can see the corn in the picture. You can zoom in here. That corn is not drought stressed. Why is that? It's because plants share micronutrients with plants, and corn produces a certain micronutrient that has no benefit to corn. It has to share it with another plant. So like buckwheat makes phosphorus more readily available for other plants. Turnips and sunflowers can go deeper into the ground and pull up and share micronutrients that other plants can't reach, and so forth. So it's not that like a multicultural or multi-species cover crop mix, it's not that it's not taking moisture. It's that they're sharing so much micronutrients that it makes them more drought tolerant when you run out of moisture. So that was my aha moment. Those were our goals, is let's make and let's find a cover crop mix that won't, even though it's taking more moisture out of the ground, that they're sharing so much micronutrients that the corn is more drought tolerant and doesn't get drought stressed when you start to go through those spells where you're not getting any rain. So that's our major goal. Our secondary goal is being able to graze cattle on the corn stalks after we harvest corn. So that's what you gotta ask yourself. What are your goals? Are you in an area where you get a lot of rain and you want to build up your aggregate stability so that your ground filters the rainwater better? You're going to want to plant different cover crops than I'm planting. So everybody's going to have different goals and different things that they're shooting for. Those are the things that you got to think about, reflect on, and ask yourself for your operation.
And good luck. You're going to do great. Okay, so the last point is the equipment you're going to use. So I went through the equipment that we chose, and this segment is actually a tease for the next video. I got a hold of several farmers online and asked them if they wanted to be a part of the video. So I'm in the process of compiling several different ways people plant cover crops across North America. And so we'll get that put together and have that for our next video. So look forward to watching that and seeing how people from all across the United States are interseeding cover crops in their cornfields. And now back to Jay on the tractor.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please click like at the bottom of the page, and if you want more content like this, please subscribe to our channel. I'll have follow-up videos on how our corn yields fare. We're going to have some strips through here where we don't put down any cover crops, so I'll get you the results of that. And then I'll also let you know how the grazing cattle goes on our fields where we interseed, as opposed to where we plant immediately after harvest. How many more days of grazing we actually get out of this, as well as how much we're actually saving on seed. Because like right now I'm only putting down 15 pounds of cereal rye, and in November I got to put down 120. So saving seed costs.